Guys, we have done it. We are finally in double digits. Double digit losses. The Jets lose 28-34 to the LA Chargers. Here are my top 5 takeaways. Jets, Jets, Jets! Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, we have done it. We have hit double-digit losses. The Jets start their season 0-10. We are just 6 games away from the perfect season for us of 0-16 and getting that so important number 1 overall pick to select Trevor Lawrence. Now, guys, I know this is unfortunate news, but with the Colts beating the Packers today, the 2020 New York Jets have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. So there's that. If you had any hopes, they are now gone. With the Bucs and the Browns both looking to be very good this season, they're both, I think, 7-3 at this point, looking poised to make the playoffs. That would make the Jets the last team to make the playoffs with a 10-year span, longest drought. So the Bucs were like 18 years, Browns, who knows. But now the Jets will wind up being the 10-year long drought unless something crazy happens with one of those two teams. So we got that to hang our hats on. Not only are the Jets eliminated from playoff contention and quite possibly going to have the longest playoff drought, but we are now firmly in the driver's seat for getting one of the top 2 picks. With Dallas winning today, that means the Jets are sitting at 0-10, the Jaguars are at 1-9, and the Bengals are at 2-7-1. So if you're following along, that means the Jets are going to have to win 3 games in order to fall down to the 3rd pick. So more than likely, looking at our schedule, the Jets are not getting that. We are basically guaranteed a top 2 pick at this point in time. I'm still nervous as all heck for the Jaguars, so I'm going to be rooting hard for the Bucs tomorrow. Basically, there's a whole rooting guide. If you look at Michael Nania's post over at Jets X Factor, definitely follow that because you need to be rooting for these teams to win. And the Jets are slowly creeping up on strength of schedule with the Jaguars. The Jaguars' strength of schedule is getting harder. The Jets is getting a little bit easier. So fingers crossed it actually works out in the end that we don't actually need the Jaguars to win. We just sort of work our magic. But the Jets are basically locked into a top 2 pick in this year's draft. I'm not going to lie. Going into this game, I was a little nervous. I thought the 2-7 Chargers should definitely be the favorite over the New York Jets. But at 2-7, can you really say they're going to be that big of a favorite? And when it comes down to it, by the end of the game, it actually wound up being a lot closer than I think a lot of Jet fans wound up thinking it would be at the beginning of today. But let's jump into my top 5 takeaways. At number 5, Adam Gase. And a lot of Jet fans and even the announcers during the game were talking about how Adam Gase looks to have taken over play calling because coming out of the second half, the Jets looked like gangbusters. They absolutely played 110% better than they did in the first half. And it led a lot of people to believe that Adam Gase was now calling the plays. When you listen to Adam Gase's press conference after the game, he was talking about how he is not calling the plays. Dowell Loggins is still the offensive coordinator. He's still calling all the plays. Adam Gase is just relaying the plays. He also has the option to void plays on Loggins, but he says he doesn't really do that. He does tend to take over plays or maybe void certain plays in 2-minute situations where the calls have to go in a little bit quicker. But basically they're saying like, hey, Loggins, call a play. Loggins says, okay, play 25, and then Adam Gase will read the play to Joe Flacco. So a little weird that there has to be a middleman, and I guess when you're the offensive guru that Adam Gase claims to be, I think you probably want to at least have final say on the play. So I guess it sort of makes sense. It doesn't really change anything for me, but the offense looked a lot better after a putrid start to the day. At number 4, I want to talk about Makai Beckton, and he did go out for a little bit. They were looking at his right knee, I believe it was. They were a little concerned that he might have been banged up, and this guy is just so elite. It's incredible. Joey Bosa, during the first play of games, or first series of plays for the Jets, lined up over Makai Beckton, and he decided to not do that pretty much the rest of the game. Makai Beckton is a monster. He is going to be the best left tackle in the league within the next 2 years, probably. I'm pretty rock solid on that. He is just absolutely enormous, and he just has his way with everyone. He took care of Melvin Ingram the rest of the game after Bosa moved to the right-hand side. And even then, there were a lot of times that Ingram lined up on the right-hand side with Bosa just to avoid Makai Beckton. He's so big, such a huge wingspan. He's just going to dominate anyone he goes against. And as long as he can stay healthy, the Jets legitimately have their true franchise left tackle. At number 3, I have the special teams, and that's a good and a bad thing because we blocked a punt, which is great. The Chargers have had 3 blocked punts in the last 5 games, but hey, we got one. Wound up leading to our only score in the first half. And then we also had our special teams, which, not that great. Sam Ficken misses 2 extra points. You really got to hit those. He's coming back from injury, and from what I saw, it looked like he was not 100% healthy. I would have rather us roll with Castillo. I thought he's played pretty well. Ficken, for the beginning part of this year, played well, but recently Castillo was kicking the ball absolutely lights out. I think it was probably a little premature to move on with Ficken, so I'm hoping maybe there's a little bit more competition and maybe they decide to bring Castillo back in. Or they just give Ficken some more time and then hopefully he heals better and he doesn't miss as many kicks. Or maybe we want to tank and we just want to miss kicks. So I'm good either way here. Either way is good with me. At number 2, we have our quarterback, Joe Flacco. He finishes the day with 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, we did not have a completion to any one of our big 3 wide receivers, Mims, Perriman, or Crowder in the first half, which is atrocious. I don't know how you can go through a full 30 minutes of gameplay and not have one of those guys catch a ball. So not overly thrilled. But I will say this. Joe Flacco, while I don't want to see him win any games because of his age and because, obviously I want Trevor Lawrence, it's been impressive what he's been able to do with the offense. I think him having the cannon of an arm that he is, or that he has, will absolutely open up this offense, and it'll make things a lot easier for the quarterback. Like, I think when Sam comes back, we're going to see defenses kind of crash back down. They won't give the space that Flacco's getting with Mims and with Perriman. The other thing with Joe Flacco, how great is it that the 2 interceptions that he's thrown the last 2 weeks has been, or I guess 2 of the last 3 weeks, so we had the bye week. How great were those? The pick 6 today was the difference maker that caused us to lose the game, and the interception against the Patriots is what got them back into the game. So thank you, Joe Flacco, for at least giving me a very interesting last few weeks to watch and at least preserve the tank. And at number 1, let's talk about our wide receivers, specifically Brashad Perriman and Denzel Mims. Brashad Perriman had 4 targets, 2 receptions, 54 yards, and a touchdown. He has been taking the top off the defense, and you can see he's getting open consistently. If we can get him the ball, if we can get more time for the quarterback in the pocket and just bomb the ball over the top, he's going to be a weapon to be dealt with. And I think he has played himself into at least an extra year on the Jets. Hopefully we try to retain him. I think he would be a great option if he was like our 4th guy. I don't want him to be the number 1. Hopefully Mims can be that. But I would like to see him back on this roster. I still want to address receiver at some point, whether it be the offseason or the draft. But I think weapon-wise, the Jets are not as bad as we initially thought. And then Mims. Oh my God. This guy is going to be so legit. I am so excited to watch Denzel Mims. This guy really has it all. He catches the ball away from his body. He makes defenders just look silly. He knows how to use his hands when he's just running down the field. Not to mention, not even just the crazy acrobatic catches that he's made. He only had 3 catches today. But the acrobatic catches and the pass interference calls that he draws. There should be a stat that gets tracked for how many yards you gain based on your pass interference calls that you can generate. Because Denzel Mims would have easily over 100 yards. He finished the day with 3 receptions and 71 yards. And he had another 2 penalties that probably, if I had to guess, went for another 25 or 30 yards total. Like, that's awesome. That is absolutely huge. And it's yardage that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but it's yardage that is absolutely attributed to Denzel Mims. And I'm just so excited to watch this guy grow, and it sucks that it's not going to be with Sam, but man, Trevor Lawrence has got to be looking at Denzel Mims, and he's like, maybe New York's not looking that bad. Guys, let me know what you think of everything down below in the comments. What did you think of this game? What were your top 5 takeaways? Are you excited that the Jets are still in control of that number 1 pick? Guys, let me know everything down in the comments down below. And as always, go Jets.